Welcome to the Trini Techcast, everybody. My name is Andre Charles from at Make It Simple TT and Trini Techcast and all of those good places that you happen to see me on the internet. And there are still some people who believe I have a twin brother. So yes, whenever you see me on the internet, whenever you see me in person, you see my twin brother. That's funny. Yep, this is episode number 144. We are recording on the 11th of January. I don't think January going that slow yet.
It's like the 56th of January.
You really find so? All right, This is Akim there, first day one co-host, and Michaela Noel, because she doesn't give anybody any hell. Michaela Noel, from episode 100 up.
Is because I ready for my salary. I ready for my job.
No. Let's get this discussion going.
I've been ready for my salary since like December 31st.
So when I was burnt out for my stance on my salary not being touched until the 28th of December, now all you're ready for the salary. No, my salary is good. I have zero financial problems right now with respect to January. Not that you have financial problems, but I don't really find January taking long because it's the 11th. I actually think it's moving at a very good pace because
it's moving at a relatively good pace. It's just everybody want their money now.
Yeah,
it's like
I think I might get paid this week, either this week or next week.
Yes, I think government workers getting paid somewhere in the teens. Some in the late teens, early 20s, maybe something like that, because you can't have a wide gap between pay in government service or some kind of thing like that. But I can't remember the specifics of it. But yeah, the 11th of January, it's cool. I had 1 week of school and nothing much really. What was techie? How was your tech life this week? Michaela, you first, cause just...
This week was first week of work. Yeah, first week of work. So just catching back up with everything. Nothing really techie besides starting back work. Yeah.
Just remembering how to use a keyboard.
Yep. And everybody resetting the password.
Yeah, my employees were like, yeah, well, we just needed to, remember what we actually do. I'd be like 2 weeks. And I was like, but yeah, I understand because when I used to work and go on vacation and come back, the first week was literally like, how we just do this again? Why do we do this? Worse yet if you're dealing with code and them kind of things. You had to like defrost your brain or some kind of thing. So. All right, nothing techie from you. Akim, anything?
Yeah, I started diving in some of the vibe coding arena. So I using, ChatGPT have a coding agent called Codex. So I connect it to GitHub and I give it a prompt, like a prompt on a little app I want to build. I give it what the UI should look like, the little security features, the general features of the app and everything, the users, how they should log in and that kind of thing. And it started doing the task and it pushed the code into GitHub. So I tell it what framework to use and everything. I tell it use, I think Laravel I use. I tell it use it and it download everything, like the framework, and it push all the code and everything into GitHub. I didn't actually test it as yet, but I was like, it take like 5 minutes to generate everything and push it into GitHub. So my next step in the process, I go and spin up a VM in Oracle Cloud, a little Linux VM, put it on a VM and try and run
and see how it makes it work. Okay. Yeah, that's something cool. I understand what you're trying to do because you're trying to do it properly. Because plenty of people just do the vibe coding and you do the vibe coding in the browser and then boom, okay, it works there. But does it actually work on a server? Does it actually work in a real environment? And that is where the same thing we were talking about last week, where you need to have some technical knowledge so that you could vibe code properly. Yeah, what you do in there, like putting it in GitHub, will give you like a code base and you'll be able to merge and roll back and them kind of things. Yeah, that is the kind of stuff that I think is necessary. So you should do a course.
There was people in the past how much years asked me to do stuff, but I don't like teaching. Like my father was a teacher. He taught in tech and some other places, but I don't like teaching.
Yeah. Well, for me, I decided I was going to create I have a robotics club in my school already, right? But now I'm going to change it to robotics and coding. And I'm going to teach them how to vibe code. I'll literally just go and say, hey, here what you have to do. This is how you create a web app, because and I just let them get the concept of creating HTML standalone pages, because that's basically what I do for fun and see all kind of different things. And I'll see if I could create a spark in some of their lives where they will just vibe code something, save it as a .html file, and then see it work. And then try to like get them to get into what the code is doing. Because if you had to start from scratch and teach them from HTML, then CSS, then try to get them to understand JavaScript, it might be a little too difficult. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. So I start to put things in place as a teacher to create a sort of framework for them to do it and see what they build.
Well, like when you was doing your little code and stuff for the Monopoly app, you do the you was learning push the code to somewhere, or you was like copying the base?
I was just copy paste the code because it was only like 800 lines. And I specifically said, make sure everything works locally. Do not rely on the internet for anything. And so it's just a local app. So once I send that HTML file to anybody, they could just open it up and it will work. And yeah, I had to copy paste the code into Notepad and keep like a Notepad file.
Like that, like getting to push the code straight into GitHub. That was like the first time I never see it happen, and I never did it. I always saw it there and I was like, so that was like our first for me actually seeing it.
Yeah, fun fact, I never actually used GitHub for anything serious in life ever, you know.
Okay.
Like I was GitHub only come out after I leave university and thing. So
me too, you know, I need to start using GitHub for work. I didn't use it.
Right.
I use it for work. Yeah.
And I never had an actual coding job. The only time I have coding is when I started my business. So there was never a need for me to use GitHub. Up to now, I really, if I had to go in GitHub, I'll probably have to use like some sort of guide to be like, okay, click here for this, click here for that. Because it has changed. And then when you come back, you're like, yeah, okay, I think. But that's just I just me on code. But generally, most of my code is done on local machines with students teaching them to code in C. And if I am coding anything, it will be most likely something with a WordPress. Because that is where
the money is.
That's where business does make sense. Everything else is just a dream. All right, so welcome guys to today's podcast where we talk about the following things. Dun, 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 dun. We'll be talking about Newsday closing down, which is both a societal thing but a technical thing. So we look at it from the technical perspective and the factors that could contribute to a print newspaper closing down when we read the article. Licensing office, technology experience. Yes, I was caught in a rush this week and I had to spend 8 hours of my day waiting to get licensed. And while I was doing that, I was doing some snooping.
So you were one of the criminals who then...
We will talk about it. We'll talk about it when we get there. The $2,000 was dangling in front of my eyes. That's exactly what happened, right? And then Grok image generation abuse. I was going for sexual abuse, but then the caption might have get flagged. So image generation abuse, because it is a thing, and we had to talk about it. So let's go into our first story. The Newsday is going to close down very soon. Local newspaper in Trinidad and Tobago. Right now you're listening to Train TechCast, and more than likely you know that I love technology a lot. But more so, I love teaching technology. I'm a CSEC IT and CAPE Computer Science and IT teacher, and I have classes that are available. So if you know anyone, any student that's looking for quality CAPE Computer Science or CSEC IT classes, you can check us out at 308-8799 on WhatsApp or makeitsimplett.com/register. You can get classes, notes, recordings, IA, SBA help, everything that you could think of. That will get you that one in CSEC IT. So you can check us out. After 32 years, Newsday has commenced legal proceedings to wind up its business. A public notice will be published on all daily newspapers on January 10th. States that the petition to wind up Daily News Limited, publishers of Newsday, was filed on 31st December 2025, and the first hearing is set for January 19th. Further down, they said the elements of this perfect storm are varied as they are damaging, with no single factor exclusively to blame. This is not something that suddenly happened, but rather a symphony of events playing out over a decade. Here's some of the things that they mentioned. The cost of raw materials, in particular paper, the largest expense, has also skyrocketed. Cost of machinery and maintaining it have also increased significantly. And the world has changed. TNT is no different. The value placed on traditional media has diminished, and the political campaign to discredit them for nefarious reasons has ramped up. Newspaper entails hundreds of people working every day of the year and around the clock to keep the public informed, but $3 is too much to ask for that service. Advertising revenue has also decreased significantly over the last decade. And those are some of the things that they said would have been the major reasons. My hot take on it is that the Newsday was always the third newspaper in Trinidad and Tobago, and newspapers rely on advertising to live. So if everybody is feeling the advertising pinch because people don't put their ads in newspapers or print media anymore, and they put their ads on social media, it would have been inevitable. That's my hot take. What do you think, Akim?
Yeah, I don't think that's not a controversial take. That's a fact. Well, it could more than say fact.
It's grounded in fact.
Yeah, grounded in facts. Because a lot of other newspapers, say like in the UK and other places, they over the past, say, 10 years or whatever, they release a lot of people, follow a lot of people, and instead of just winding up, they started trying to, they went the route of like paywalls,
right,
like
yeah.
they're trying to do more exclusive, more investigative journalism, more stuff like that, and put it behind paywalls. And with that too, they started doing more clickbaity stuff, because at the end of the day, it wasn't just about, so I think in a sense too, a lot of other outlets kind of, and I'm not sure if this happening to some of the local newspapers too, but a lot of outlets, say, outside of Trinidad, started doing more, as I say, more clickbaity stuff, and the actual journalism in terms of, it used to be about the facts and the real story is kind of just about getting you to come and read the article or the clickbait or to
the first paragraph
outrage, gather some outrage so that you would, same thing like social media, trying to get more eyes on it, have a good hook, trying to make bacchanal, so people will be in the comments or come and read a paper, they would disagree. So it kind of fall into some of that. And so I mean with Newsday, they didn't go that route. They went the route of the traditional route of just trying to stick with the traditional advertising that was meaning not digital but in the paper itself. And to be honest, I can't remember when last I bought a newspaper. I was like,
that was gonna ask McKellar, like, you ever buy a newspaper before?
I mean, for my parents, yeah.
No, for you.
No, why do not for?
Exactly. McKellar like grew up her whole life and was like, I'm not gonna buy papers because I want to read it. There is internet for a reason.
I'll tell you,
exactly.
Last time I buy newspapers was like when I was in UE or leaving UE, and you're looking for apartments, and the best place to find apartments used to be in the classified ads. So that was probably 15 years ago.
I don't know. Michael, how you feel? What's your hot take on it? That bothering you in any way, or it don't matter?
It's not bothering me per se because there are 2 other newspapers. However, it's a little concerning how many media outlets, I guess, are closing down because the Loop closed down just this year as well. No, this year or last year? Well, last year.
Last year Loop closed down.
2025. Yeah. So they're less reliable information sources, but for the most part, I wasn't going to read the physical newspaper. But it's still good to have the information.
My question is, why wouldn't you just turn to a digital outlet instead?
Yeah, I was wondering that same thing. But I guess it'll still be similar staffing cost. And like you said earlier, advertising is a problem, like getting advertisers and actually if you put too much ads on your website, people are not going to navigate to your website. Me, for example, if I open a newspaper article and the first thing I meet is an ad, I'm going to close the page and go about my day.
Yeah, but you have an ad blocker. So,
true.
So, like, that's the thing too. Like, if you compare Express and Guardian, especially the Guardian is a real pain to go on the website, especially if you're on a phone. Once it pops up and you're scrolling, and a video that's take over the whole screen, and it's like, what the hell? But Newsday didn't really used to do that. And if it, like, I could go on the page now, they don't really have much ads on the stuff.
Yeah, to me, when I think about like online newspapers, I think Newsday.
Clip that. All right, cool. So let me tell you what's in. Express and Guardian will go through this, right? Like, for sure. There's no reason that we could see in the foreseeable future that print media will live on. There's nothing that says that points in that direction anyway. Because of that, it should just be smart for you to try to figure out how to tailor your organization to be online only. And whatever staffing you have to do, whatever things you have to sort out, whatnot. Yes, people will get fired, people will get furloughed, whatever the case is. But if they were thinking about it, I'm sure that it had to be on the table somehow that, yeah, we should just go digital only. But what would have stopped them from going digital only? So all you're saying is just ads alone? Like putting ads on the website?
How you going to be profitable?
Well, you just had to you had to cut only staff to 5 people.
Yeah, but you going to run your thing with 5 journalists alone?
Why not?
So imagine you have, like, doing that alone will cost a lot of money. Like, imagine you have 500 staff to cut down operation to just 5 staff.
Okay, I use 5 as a very, very weird example, but okay. Let's say you have freelance. Let's say, okay, Karen Rose does do freelance work for them. And he's DigiTrap on your thing, right? Okay, cool. You get a bunch of freelancers, 10 to 15 freelancers, and then you have 5 reporters, and they just do this stuff online alone. You should be able to garner enough ads if you do your socials and things properly to be able to get following up people.
Ads from who? Say for me example, right? I have a business. I would Newsday or Express or Guardian is like the last place I go and look. And somebody my age, I don't know, somebody like me.
No, I agree with you, but you could do 2 things. You could put the Google ads on and put the AdSense and create your clickbait articles, which we don't want, but you know, you had to kind of do it that way. And have the AdSense coming in some sort of way that will bolster the income and create a social media presence with your content that is going to cause people to want to come to your social media. And then you could start to tack on ads in between, because CNC3 does do that. Guardian Media does do that. So Guardian Media just blatantly have an ad just sitting down there. You think you're watching news and there's literally somebody paid to use their socials.
So having it there is one thing, right? And then seeing how effective it is. So say is some company pay to put an ad there with CNC3 thinking, okay, they have a presence and whatever. But how effective that ad really going to be? When you scroll into CNC3 page, and you see an ad, you just stop or you just like, what are you
Right.
talking about?
No,
Scroll
okay.
past.
Versus
You
like
right,
an ad.
but you and I know that. But for the population of Trinidad and Tobago, there are plenty of people who will just be on them socials and they will just be looking at what Bacchanal, the news organization, is posting at that point in time because they want to jump in the comments and say something. And that is a reality in Trinidad. Like if you could monetize the Bacchanal or the clickbaitness, there's a chance. And I seen Garden Media doing it already with all their socials.
But when you're looking at it too, right? The Bacchanal and the stuff, the crime, whatever, those articles just have a lot of engagement, like hundreds, thousands, and whatever. When you look at the ad, you see like 2 comments, 3 comments.
Yeah, but it's sponsored and it's shown but the thing is, it's there. Like the opportunity to do it is there. It's not like there is no opportunity to be a digital outlet.
If people really, like how much you think CNC3 charging to put an ad there?
About a 10K maybe.
Right. We you know we could do 10,000 in Facebook
on
ads.
Facebook ads. Yes, that is true.
So if people really know that model would die.
But people don't really know. That's the thing that we're trying to say. We know, we speaking from a position of privilege, of understanding how ads and things work online. But there are ad agencies and these people that are still put ads in these print places and put ads in the, like, if you want to advertise something politically, and a full page newspaper ad is still the first thing that you're going to do. Because if you take a full page ad in the Express on page 2 and pay how much money, you know that real people are going to see that, because either one or two things. The person who buy the newspaper go and take a picture of it and send it, or the same thing you put in the newspaper, you're going to put on your socials also. But there is still a market for these.
I agree with you, because
thing ads.
Cause like last year, I could say last year, but last year I was talking to somebody who have an established company, about advertising. I was trying to explain to them about, with Facebook and Meta ads, you could literally take 200 or whatever for 2 weeks a week, and the amount of people you would reach. But they still had it in their mind that they need to put an ad in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Versus spend a fraction and you'll get more results.
I understand what you're saying. I'm glad you kind of bring up that example. There is because I work on a radio station right now, and I know the types of people that run some of these media houses and the types of people that kind of just do ads. It has people still putting ads on. Okay, if anybody hear this, I'm not saying that I don't want any ads on this radio station that I work on, but yeah, you put in an ad on radio and it's not, and and you saying go to www.something.com// in a voice ad. That is crazy. Like, I'm madness. You're supposed to be able to like keep it short and sweet. So the whole advertising thing, there is a time frame that we have probably in the next 10 years where Trinidad will catch up to where we're supposed to be in terms of advertising. But right now, I think it have enough people who are not as okura with online advertising that will be willing to advertise on our online newspaper. Could clip that. Yeah.
So now that I bring up radio station, right?
Yeah.
With, one of my companies, my company,
Yeah.
right? It's a radio station that found my email address, and they send the packages, right? In terms of
for real? Oh,
yeah. I won't call it radio station, but there's a fairly popular station with like 3 different stations on it, right?
Yeah.
So to advertise on 3 stations for a 20 to 30 second spot, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. is 4,500 plus VAT.
Madness.
A 22 to 30 second spot per station, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. I think 66 spots total, 5,000. And 75 spots between 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. is 5,500.
Right. So that basically your ad will be playing twice an hour for 2 weeks.
Yeah, for 4,500.
Yeah.
Versus if I take that 4,500, I wouldn't even recommend spending 4,500 in Facebook ads.
Oh yeah, you'll max it out for sure.
Overkill.
Yeah.
You will advertise to the whole of Trinidad.
Exactly. Yeah, it will go to too much people, and it wouldn't be targeted to anybody. So, I understand. I just know that the others going to have to wrangle with this. Newsday probably had a perfect storm of other things to deal with, but I think being online only could have helped. But is Loop was online only yet? It was on Loop.
Yeah, I believe so.
The thing with Newsday too, like say Guardian has CNC3, they have TV as well, and
they
Express
have
at TV6, so they have two other more sources of revenue. Newsday
that
was
you could
just,
upsell kind of. Newsday was just like you're correct. Yeah. I have no problem with them being online only. If they could do that would be cool. I would love to see if they close down the print side and then they just rebrand and come back as a different online source. But being a trusted online source, now we just stuck with we deal with Express and Guardian and
done a good call. Like for certain topics and certain topics, like I used to see two of them go with one story, and used to be a little kind of independent.
That happened with us a few times, because when I looking for articles to talk about on the podcast, more often than not, Newsday used to give us some really good material on certain things and be a little more in depth. So here we are.
And like some of them would spin it one way and Newsday would have a different way, and sometimes over time you would see, okay, this was probably closer to the truth versus that. And I'm sure it's probably vice versa, but in the end I think we would lose out because we're gonna have less sources to kind of do that type of thing.
Yeah, registered or trusted news sources or reputable
to
news sources.
And to be like, okay, this one makes sense, this one is probably...
No, I'd listen to Facebook.
Say propaganda, but...
Yikes. I don't see what people post on Instagram. Crazy. No. Alright. Well, we'll see how it goes. I genuinely hope that it turns to something online, because everybody had a pivot to online somehow.
For this, right? If you had the chance or the ability to buy Newsday, would you buy it? You and McKellar, would you all buy it?
If they're selling it, it's probably for a reason. I can.
If I was a media practitioner, mogul, whoever person who had the kind of money to own them kind of things, I would have turned Newsday into digital only, because I just see the power of your digital news, and you manage your socials properly, and you start to do reels and all them kind of thing. You would be able to create a following online that you would be able to advertise to in Trinidad right now. Not in the next 10 years. In the next 10 years, everybody will be smarter and they'll be like, no, I'm not paying you no extra money for no ads when I could pay small money to a social media platform to boost it for me. But right now, we still have a good bit of people who would get caught, for lack of a better word, scrolling through their feed and not notice that our ad is on one of the media houses.
You know, there's a lot of ads, and it's probably the model for that, Ian Allen.
Ian Allen, yeah, correct. You're fully correct. And people don't know. People don't see it. People just think that this is another video that he's doing, because it's so, whoever is the socials guy, it's well integrated into the type of content he does normally have. And that's the goal. If you could create ads that look very similar to the content that you normally create, and people don't see the difference, then you could have a value proposition to tell other people. But we know better that we could just scroll past and be like, yeah, this clearly an ad. This is not what it is normally post up. But it's an art. Yeah. All right. Nice. Well done, guys. Well done. Next story is licensing office. I'm going to tell you why I had to stay there for 8 hours on Tuesday. Well, you probably made it this far in the podcast. That means you probably like technology a lot and like to at least hear us talk about technology. And that also means you may know somebody or somebody who knows somebody or somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who wants a website built or an app built or some sort of technology integrated in their business. If you want to help them out, you could send them to Make It Simple TT, send them to us. And we have business services that range from building websites to building apps to invoicing systems to ensuring that technology is used in your company, to installation of routers, buying things online. So you can check us out, 308-8799. You can check our services out, or you could go to makeitsimplett.com and see some of the things that we've done and maybe give a recommendation to our website built or something like that. So I normally would get my vehicle inspected on a 2-year cycle. Of course, when it's supposed to get inspected, I have it in my calendar, all kind of things, right? But I went through some technical difficulties last year with my vehicle because my dog was biting up all the wires underneath the van, and I'd get an accident. So they were like right around the time when I was supposed to go and get inspected, the vehicle was not inspection ready because I had to fix everything. So I tell myself, all right, cool, I'll fix up everything, I'll get everything done, and then I'll go and get inspected by the end of 2025, and everything will be okay. So long story short, due to my procrastination and not dealing with the things I had to deal with, because as a teacher, when school going on, it's just harder to do things. As usually I had to wait for vacation time. So I end up,
so it wasn't just one of them lawless people that are talking about.
If I used to serially do it for like years and years and years, then I would have said a lot less. But no, I was always trying to make sure my inspection was done on time.
Like, I understand.
Else.
Like, yeah, I really understand that because licensing officers are paying to deal with, and sometimes it's be like if like you had to go to the dentist to pull out a teeth. That would just be so. Sometimes it's avoid it. Like I just get toothache every now and again, and instead of going by the dentist, I just gargle some warm salt water and just go away, and it's like, okay.
Well, yeah, no, nobody vexed with you there at all.
So
I understand you totally.
With licensing office.
So while sitting down there for 8 hours, because I could tell you the whole story, but we'll spend all the time talking about it. I got there very, very early. This is not licensing office itself. This is a private institution that is licensed to inspect vehicles. I noticed a few things, but let me start off with the website, right? You remember the time we went through this website where you put in your license plate number and your engine number or whatever it is, and it would show you all the information, right? If you actually go to this website, take the information from your certified copy, put it inside there, it will give you a proper breakdown of everything to do with your vehicle. All the information about when it was transferred, if it was transferred, when it was licensed, year of manufacture. Well, they used to have the demerit points, but they don't have the demerit points. But it's showing your tickets and all them kind of things, right? As far as I saw recently, I don't know if it changed. I don't know if they updated. But when I went to get my vehicle inspected, the first thing that had happened before I could even pay is I had to give them my original certified copy. And then they put in the information on the website, the same website, and then they double check to make sure that my ID and everything was matching up to it because the vehicle was in the system. You remember the time when they were trying to put all the vehicles in the system and they were fumbling it really badly, and some vehicles were in the system and some vehicles were not in the system? Yeah. You remember that? Well, I don't know, Michaela, you probably wouldn't remember that. When they were trying to digitize licensing office.
Nah, my vehicle new. It don't need to get inspected.
Yeah, that would have been like 2014, 15, 16, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
I would have been like 13 at that point.
Alright, that was what I was saying here. They were trying to digitize licensing office, and they used to have certified copies on paper, and they wrote on your certified copy, and the first thing that they were trying to do was giving you a printed certified copy. And we drag them and we say, this if they could only get this database done properly and thing. I personally feel that the database is proper now based on what I saw. And that is it kind of made me happy, because let me tell you why. First of all, the person that was inspecting, they had stuck up on the wall the picture of the person, the time period that they license to be inspecting any vehicles are sealed from the licensing office, and some sort of number, like an inspection number. You can clearly see it's a digital number for something to say that they registered in the system. So that means the people who are inspecting the vehicle, they have a digital system to say who is inspecting it. Then, when they were inspecting the vehicle, my boy was using a tablet. It wasn't a clipboard with a sheet of paper where you had to tick off everything like before. It was a tablet. He was tapping all the things that he had to do. Every time he checked something, he went back to the tablet and he did whatever he had to do. And then at the end of the whole process, they had to roll back your vehicle and take a picture of it from the front view. And I saw him click save and upload. And then they go to the back and then they get a printed copy with there's like a mail merge where they have all the information inside, like it was merged. And they have the exact date and time that it was inspected, the name of the inspection station, and the person who inspected it. Which means that digital system, that database was updating in real time. And I believe if I go and check, I didn't check since I got inspected, but if I check, I'll be able to see that all that information. And all of that information is tied into the ticketing system too. So if you have pending tickets or whatnot, you should see that on the website also. And to me, that's a proper IT system there. That is what I saw. That is what I feel. So I'm kind of happy that it exists, and we're not just going through this exercise of inspection and tickets and all those kind of things to end up in a problem where you don't have any proper records or digitization of it to make things more efficient. Aside from the fact that it should be more efficient, but the large rush that are going on right now would be a big problem for anybody. But let's say July, August, I go to licensing office to get a new certified copy. They should be able to just print out one for me, and that would be good. I feel.
Come back in 3 days.
No, that one machine that printing it out.
Same day?
Yeah.
You're like, no, can I talk to somebody?
No, not right now. Not right now. Right now, with the amount of rush that I'd have, no.
I talked to somebody before all the rush, and I was like, yeah, tell them come back in 3 days or something.
In Caroni or Port of Spain?
No, not Caroni, I think.
Okay, I think the one in Port of Spain was working as far as I heard.
Same day? Okay. Now it's working, but there's like, come back for it.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you get it same day now.
From a progress perspective, I want to highlight that as a good thing, boy. Yeah. And but Michaela, your car new, so it had inspect for like 5 years.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if it's 3 years. I don't know if it's 5 years. And everybody's saying is either 3 years or 5 years.
Of manufacture, the manufacture date, not the license date.
So, right. Let me say, hypothetically speaking, somebody had a vehicle and they sell it to somebody, but they didn't transfer it as yet. And that person got a ticket. Who had to pay that ticket?
It depends on the type of ticket. So if it's a ticket for the wrong engine number or anything of that sort that has to do with the transfer or the actual ownership of the vehicle, then the owner will get the ticket. But if it's a blown light bulb or anything like that, the driver.
Okay.
Because the driver is responsible for the car being used on the road at that point in time, but the owner is responsible for the engine and the some of the other things that I can't remember what you'll get charged for. But let me say they put in the e-ticketing, the automatic ticketing camera thing, right? Everything will just go straight to the owner, the address of the owner. And it'll be put on them. Because there's no way to check who is driving at the point in time. So, in the end, everything going to go to the owner. But right now, they can still charge the driver.
Okay.
Which I am happy exists. Because all them people who don't want to transfer the vehicle or don't transfer it properly, like, you should really transfer the vehicle. Granted that it's really difficult to transfer a vehicle because you have to get inspected before you transfer it, right?
Yeah.
And if the vehicle not roadworthy before you transfer it, that's kind of messed up, because now you're gonna sell the vehicle to somebody else and tell them that they have to fix it up before they can transfer it, because they bought it as is, and you can't get the transfer done until you go and fix all the things that wrong with the vehicle that the owner never told you existed, which it's not cool. But in the end, it should be better for the vehicles on the road, aside from the money making part of it. I don't know. Yeah, but even the ticketing machine, it's like a point of sale machine. It'd be like you put any license information, you put any person and put any car, and then it printing out everything, all the particulars very clearly laid out. So that online system, I think that makes me feel happy. And the good thing is, it wouldn't have been this administration that put it in place. It would have been there from before. It's just that they now enforce it or activate it or something like that. I ain't too sure. The demerit system, however, I still want to know why the demerit system was scrapped. And I think the only reason I could think of is it costs money.
It's still there for like 2 or 3 offenses. Like
You serious?
Yeah, they're for like driving under the influence and like reckless driving or something. It's still there for those two or three, the criminal offenses. It's still there for it.
Oh, I did not know that.
It's in the fine print.
Didn't. Wait now, Michaela, you knew that? That you could still get the demerit points?
Yeah.
No.
Check it.
The demerit points too.
The only thing I was the only view that I have of this, aside from the technical part that we just spoke about, is that the demerit system was actually the best deterrent that you could get, because whether you can pay a fine or not, you could still get punished for, like, people who rich now and they could be like, nah, I'll just pay the fine. They could still get shafted because of the demerit system. But you see it, like, did your Google search?
I'll check in it.
Return anything? I'm not too sure. So, what was going to ask you about, Michaela? Right, so because your vehicle new, you won't know the first time you have to go and get inspected unless you check the year that your vehicle was manufactured. You have the certified copy, you have to go and check it, and you have to be like, okay, you have to start to go and get inspected from this year or from that year, whatever it is. I wish it had something that would email you.
Sure, Dad.
No, okay.
The closest possible solution I could think of is like asking my dealership directly to email me, like, next time I have a service that's close to when I should be getting my vehicle inspected, to just let me know that, hey, it's time to get vehicle inspected. Like, that's the closest thing I could think of.
But okay, hear me out. Do you think that licensing office, since they have the data of when your vehicle is, like, for the vehicles that have been inspected or last inspected, this should be... Wait, you had to put in your email address? Do you put in your email address, boy? I can't remember if you had to put in your email address, you know. Oh, yes, well, no. When you make an appointment, you do put in your email address.
I think it depends, because the place where my parents get their cars inspected, the place will call you like every 2 or 3 or like how many ever years is the thing. They'll call you and be like, hey, you need to come get your vehicle inspected. Right,
that's what I'm saying. So I wouldn't mind if I could get an email from the licensing office saying your vehicle is due for inspection within the next 3 months. Please remember that you need to do blah 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 and that. Yeah, you could go to last time you went to this inspection station, because now that I have data that is correct, then the possibilities of using that data to do more useful things would be good. And this is what digital systems supposed to be able to do, not just collect all the data and hold it and be accurate. We could now take the data and do much more reasonable things, and that'll be more hope that the data that we collect from this will be able to help the population and show that technology actually does something besides taking money or collecting information. Oh gosh, there's a Facebook post the man sent me. Yes. All right, that's now. There will remain 6 criminal driving offenses under the driving. Okay. But it didn't say anything about demerit. It said anything about demerit inside it?
Yes,
Just now. Which paragraph? Just now. It now loading because Guardian tell me about my ad blocker.
Majority.
Which paragraph? Okay, I'll just switch for the with demerit. Okay, all right. Speaking of the cabinet media briefing, there are 99 violations under the Act, 69 of which carry demerit points, 63 for non-criminal violations, and 6 for criminal offenses. The new order will remove the demerit points from all but a few offenses. Okay, all right, well, the demerit point system still exists. Great. Well, then, I'm glad. No further questions. Nothing needs to be said again.
So is driving while disqualified, driving while under the influence of alcohol or drugs or whatever, failure to provide a specimen that is a breathalyzer, and careless driving.
So why they make it sound like the demerit system gets scrapped for, boy?
It's politics.
That wildness, that's wildness.
Election.
It does, yeah. That again. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Good to know. Now, let me talk about Michaela's favorite AI, Grok. I was following up on, technology, reading what I had to read and all those sorts of things. And then this video, I think it was either BBC or some of them news organizations, posted something about Elon Musk's wife. One of his
child mothers.
Child mothers, yeah. That's what I wanted to say. I was going to say baby daddy, but he's the baby daddy. Yeah. Just so, Akeem, I see you ready to jump in and we'll take it. All right. Elon Musk AI chatbot Grok is preventing most users from generating, editing any images after global backlash that erupted after it started spewing sexualized deepfakes of people. The chatbot, which is accessed through social media platform X, has in the past few weeks been granting a wave of what researchers say are malicious user requests to modify images, including putting women in bikinis or in sexually explicit positions. Eventually, they made it only subscriber only, but you can still do it right now. And let's talk about that. Go ahead, Akeem, I'm listening.
No, I was going to say you had to read about it. I was seeing it live as it happened.
Oh, for real? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. That's... Okay, that's now. Let me get a woman's view. Michaela, how this... Like, from a woman's perspective, how would that feel to be like, you could post up a picture of you cooking, and then somebody could comment underneath your picture and ask Grok to just undress you, basically.
Mm-hmm. We saw this coming a mile away. Like, since the big AI boom and everybody getting ChatGPT and, Grok and all these other models to generate images, we saw this coming a mile away, which is why we were pushing heavily for regulations to be in place and safeguards to be in place, but nobody wants to listen. So here's the consequences.
I clip that because here's my concern. Gemini and ChatGPT and Anthropic, Claude, they have a compass, right? They have a moral compass. Not just because people monitoring them, but because you can see that when some outrage happens, they do something about it, or they try to do something about it, or they address it, or whatever the case is, right? And Grok, however, is like the bad boy of AI. And it's be like, I could do what I want and all, they can't do me anything. Partially because Twitter is a private company, right? X is a...
I think 90% of it is because Elon Musk owned it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that too, for sure. But is the thing of not having any regulation for AI is going to be a big problem, as Michaela said, and we saw that it was coming. But what bothered me the most about this is that they did nothing about it. They just made it a paid feature. So it's almost like creating a a market for online sexual abuse.
Yeah, they monetize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what they also did, they threatened the users who generate content like that with consequences. So they try to take the onus off of them and on to the users. And it just makes even less sense.
The thing is, you don't even need to be a verified user. So I could go and create a random Gmail address, go and sign up for X, and then pay. And how they gonna track me down? How they gonna know they do anything? Because you cannot persecute the user on an online platform where there is no user verification. So the fact that it's still going on, I think about my wife and my daughter and thing, and I thinking I would go crazy if you post your birthday picture and some weirdo could just go and undress you. And even though the undressing may not be like exact or whatever the case is, the fact that the fact that exists, boy, that really it really bothered me when I saw it. And I thought they were just going to stop the image generation for a while, just like what Gemini did when they got the racial backlash, what ChatGPT did when they got their backlash. They stop it for a while, they put whatever guardrails they have to put in place, and then go. But the fact that they monetize it, that's a bad sign for humanity. It's it very bad to the point where I have a little outrage about it, because women don't deserve that kind of and you could do it with men too. And I think I saw somewhere men were basically being objectified also by some people, where they was getting them to get bareback, have muscles, put in different positions and different sexual things and whatnot. And I don't think this is good at all for the internet. It ain't good at all for the internet.
Probably gonna get worse too. Probably this just the beginning.
Because the next thing will be video.
The next thing would not be a bikini. It would just be nothing. And it wouldn't be like these mainstream models.
Hey,
somebody go and develop a...
No, you're correct. You're correct. Because, I don't want to say it, but sexually explicit videos on the internet, right? There is the workers of these particular sites, they starting to get laid off, because now you could just create sexually explicit videos, PORN, with AI, and the users don't care. The users have no desire.
I mean, so put this way, right? If it have a whole genre of that people into that's cartoon.
Yeah.
So I mean, AI is probably...
Exactly. So the outrage was these PORN workers were mad because they're getting laid off by AI. Laid off, yeah. They're getting replaced by AI, and that could easily spread to just your random photo turning you into a PORN star with a particular video on one of these websites where it is illegal to do it.
Yes, there's this girl on Instagram. She does she's a white lady, but she does content calling out racist people and whatnot. And there's either someone or a group of people would take her content and then use image generators to remove her clothing and other items like that. And they have literally an OnlyFans site for her. And she found out about that and she tried reporting it, and it's still a whole big drama. Yeah, and she hasn't filmed any content like that in any way, shape, or form, but people profiting off of that.
Yeah, and OnlyFans ain't asking no questions. OnlyFans just create your account and make your money. But what if you create an OnlyFans account by taking other people's videos from the internet passing them through AI to make them explicit, and then all you do is prompt the AI to do what the OnlyFans people asking, because that's basically how OnlyFans does make money. You request something and then you do a video on it and they pay for it. So it's basically like online prostitution. And that bothering me, boy. Bothering me. I can't see that being allowed, or them people not putting something in place to deal with that. Because it'll just be a whole different level of abuse that may actually be worse than the level of physical abuse that people just go through right now. Because now is the internet. That could go any and everywhere.
So, like what I was saying, the mainstream AI companies, they won't allow it. They won't allow blatant, explicit videos like creation like that. But probably are people on the dark web that coming up that already has stuff like that, or developing stuff like that.
Well, yeah, if Grok could do it and get away with it right now, that means the people on the dark web saying to themselves, oh, how far can we actually go? Maybe we might be able to even publish the website, and it'll become like one of them pirate sites or them torrent sites or whatnot that could just be jumping from domain to domain, because it will stay up because the laws in particular places will allow the domain to continue running. That's a dangerous road to go down, boy. That's a dangerous road and the precedent that Grok setting right now, making the road a little wider. And that's my concern. So use AI to vibe code, please. Like, do something productive. But then the ills of the world will always show up. No, we can't throw the baby out to the bathwater. But the ills of the world will always show up in the tools that we use. Always. Yeah. All right. Sorry that we had to end so sad, but it needed to be spoken about. I don't know what to clip from this, but we will see how it goes off. Yeah, because it could get ugly. All right, recap of today's recording. We went through the Newsday closing down. Well, officially planning to close down. I don't know how long it takes for you to actually close down a newspaper, because they probably have to do things to preserve the archives and all those different things. They probably had to do some archival work and such. Licensing office technology. It seems like they have a proper database in the background that is working properly. You could probably leave comments and let us know what your experience was, or if anybody knows if the system is working properly. And then Grok image generation abuse. We just spoke about that. We hot off the press with that one because we were not happy about it. We're not happy about it. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, my name is Andre Charles. I am actually a teacher by day and podcaster. Technology company enthusiast by night, and yeah, you might see me on the internet. Anyway, you see me on the internet other than here, it's my twin brother. Or no, if you see me in person, if you see me on the internet, it's me. If you see me in person, it's my twin brother. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Akim there, where are you?
From Trinity Techcast. If you see me in person, it's not me, and that is it.
Just fun fact. How much hours of a day are you actually outside?
Like during the week?
Yeah.
Probably 5 hours.
5 hours for the whole week?
No, per day.
Oh, per day? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Unlike regular folk who be out for 12 hours a day, leave home in the dark, come back home in the dark. Okay. 5 hours
probably,
a day.
Between 4 to 5 hours.
I thought it was less than that. I was going to say 3, like 1 hour to drop off and an hour to pick up.
Yeah, it probably close to 3 to 4, probably.
Yeah, when you work from home, you could live in a cave.
Yeah.
All right, and Michaela Noel, it's carnival season. Where we seeing you?
Okay, you can find me at Kella_Noel. If you see me in person, come say hi. If you see me in a fete, come say hi. I'm very friendly. Yes, I will be outside for the fete season, definitely. If you see me getting on bad in the fed, that's not me though. But send me the video.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. All right, well, thank you very much for listening. We will see you all next week when we talk about more articles. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Let people know. And to the one person that commented and say where they got their tech news on somebody's post, was Karen Rose post something where they get the tech news and they say they get it from Trinity Techcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, DM her. So that I could bring it on as a fan. Yeah, we'll do that. I tell you later. Bye.